I'm Professor Briony Horgan, an Associate Professor of Planetary Science at Purdue University. So Perseverance just arrived at the delta in Jezero Crater. It's one of the big reasons we came to Jezero, is to investigate this landform. And so our big thing we're going to be working on the next few months is climbing up the front of the delta and trying to understand the ancient lake that we think once filled Jezero Crater. So the big thing we're going to be looking for in the delta is evidence of concentrated organic materials. These can form either in the watershed and get washed into the lake by the river, or they can actually form in the lake itself and then get deposited into muddy sediments on the bottom of the lake. What's great about deltas is that they form and they build out into a lake as a river flows in. They cover up the mud on the bottom of the lake and then preserve it over time. And so we think at the base of the now eroded delta in Jezero that we're actually seeing those ancient muddy lake deposits that will hopefully contain abundant organic materials telling us about ancient life on Mars. So far, most of our campaign has been looking at lavas that we found in filling the base of the crater floor, but we actually found some evidence of high temperature water that moved through those lavas and altered them and even left behind organic materials. So, even in this kind of, dry lava deposits, we were able to find evidence for ancient habitable environments and organic materials that could have been the building blocks of life. So we're really optimistic that we'll find a treasure trove of organic materials and hopefully other kinds of microbial biosignatures in the delta and the actual watery environments that were once in Jezero. So now that we're at the delta, we're actually planning to take this very systematically. We're going to drive up the front of the delta, get remote sensing data, take images, really see what's there, and actually drill into some of the rocks to see if we see things like organic materials, and do that at a couple of places as we go up the delta. But what we're going to do is actually plan to sample on the way back down. So once we know what all is there, what are the best places that we can get samples from, we'll come back down the delta, get those samples. And actually one of the plans right now that's in place is potentially to drop our samples, do our first cache at the base of the delta on the crater floor. This would be a first cache of just the samples we've collected so far. We've actually been double sampling, so we have 2 sets of every single thing we've sampled so far. So we would leave half of them behind at the base of the delta and then carry the rest with us as we keep exploring Jezero and the plains beyond.